Hi there, folks. Good morning and welcome as we now continue our computer basics learning by looking at this term file management. Like, what is it all about? What are we going to be looking at? And here are a few things that we're going to be touching on as we look at what file management is. Now, we need to just step back and remember that computer work, whatever we do on our computers, it's saved in files. Okay, and here are a few pictures of various files. I'm going to even show you from my documents over here. You can see there's different folders and there's different files according to what I've done. Okay, so computer work is saved in files. And these electronic files need to be organized just as in a manual filing system. I mean, you can imagine if I've just got all these things on my desktop and nothing's been organized into maybe different folders or so, I'm going to struggle to find certain files. So you want to keep things organized. It just helps you find it easier. Now, the first thing we really look at is what we call the Windows Explorer. And if we go to the normal desktop, and maybe I'll just change screens here quickly so you can see, then I'm actually able to, let me just swap screens. What's the correct one? Nope. Right, there we go. So here's my desktop, and you can see I like to keep my things fairly clean, just a few folders and files on the desktop, and the rest I'll have in subfolders, etc. So the first thing we're going to look at is our Windows Explorer. If you have, most modern versions of Windows will have the Explorer down here. So I'm just going to click on that and open that up. And there we have File Explorer. So it could be termed File Explorer, Windows Explorer, either way. A shortcut key for this is the Windows key for your start menu. You keep that down and tap the letter E. And that's a shortcut to do that. Okay. Now, when I look at my File Explorer, I see a few things. And I'm just going to look through it over here. And then we'll go back to our presentation. So we can see we have some menus, we have some tabs, we've got File, we've got Home, we've got Share, we've got View, and each one of them has their own particular options inside of it, but it all relates to the File Explorer. Underneath that, this section over here tells me exactly where I am. At the moment, I'm in Quick Access. If I click on Documents, you see it changes to this PC, Documents. This PC, Downloads. Okay, then on the right hand side I have a section here where I can go and search, and when I search, I'm searching inside of the downloads folder. That's why it says search results in downloads. I typed in cat and it brings up everything related or that has the letters cat in it. I can go to pictures, and now if I say cat, we can see it doesn't come up with anything because there's nothing that has the word cat inside this particular folder. Okay, so that's my search bar over there. Let's go up to documents again. This over here is my navigation pane. So here I can scroll through. I can see where do I actually want to go. Okay, the right hand side over here is the display area. It'll display whatever I've clicked on. So if I click on pictures over here, it displays the contents here. If I click on website here, it displays the contents over here. Okay, so let's go back to our presentation. Right, so we said there's our back and forward buttons as well, so that you'll be able to see. I have my address bar, I have my search box, I've got my toolbar with my menus, I've got my navigation pane, and I've got my details pane or my display pane here as well. So that's basically what we use. And a file management program, as it says, is supplied with all Windows operating systems. So I don't install this. What this is saying is I don't install this. This is part of what Windows offers. So let's continue as we talk about navigating through folders. Now, a common metaphor used when talking about how files are organized is the filing cabinet. So when we look at a filing cabinet, if we even use things like this in this digital age, but there are a lot who still use it. So if I'm using this, each one of these drawers would maybe represent maybe a particular customer, Maybe the one is for accounts. Maybe the other one is for creditors. Maybe the other one is in the school setting dealing with pupils. And then inside of this, I've got different files there. And maybe this is for all the kids in the school, and I've got files for each and every child there. So a common metaphor, as I'm saying, used when talking about how files are organized is the filing cabinet. A folder can hold another folder, or it can hold a series of documents. So what did I show you when it came to our documents? I showed you that here I've got my documents folder, and inside my documents folder, I've got folders and I've got files. And this is exactly what it's saying. And the important thing to remember is that to get to a document in a folder, you must navigate through the filing cabinet by opening the drawer, opening the folder, and then pulling out your particular file. So it's important to know exactly where that file is. And here we have a picture of a hierarchical structure of folders. And you can see here the image below shows 4 folders that are stored within this top folder. And inside this folder over here, we have documents there as well. Okay, so it's just showing you the hierarchical structure over there. Now, we do need to organize. I'm sure we are all in agreement on that. But we need to also plan how we are going to do that. And sometimes you can do that on paper. You can use Smart Art in Microsoft Word as well. You want to work out what are your main folders going to be. In my case, it might be school and personal. So all my work-related stuff will be in a main folder called school. All my personal things will be in a folder called personal. Then I can add subfolders. So here you can see there's school, there's personal, and within school, I teach CAT, and maybe there's other subjects. So I can put my different files and folders and pictures and whatever I want to in those folders. But this just means that because I've created now, a proper hierarchical structure, because I've put in meaningful folder names and file names, it's easy for me to navigate through things. It's easy for me to go and find, I'm looking for my CAT grade 10 files. So I know I need to go into school, and I need to go into CAT, I need to go into grade 10, and that's where I'll find my files. Now, there are a few rules for naming files. A file name may contain any alphanumeric character, including the letters A to Z and the numbers 0 to 9. Documents in the same folder can have, no two documents in the same folder can have the same name. Otherwise, it's going to conflict. Right? It won't allow you to save it like that. Each folder name must be different as well. Same principle. So we're just saying the files mustn't have the same names. The folder mustn't have the same names. You are encouraged to use descriptive names. Use underscores rather than spaces. Use short names. Be consistent in how you format these names. Okay. Then, as you develop in your own file naming system, avoid using special characters, including like all of these. Okay, it will not allow you to save it with that. All right, so these are just some of the rules when it comes to naming your files. Then also remember, each program stores files, the files it creates in its own way. And each file type is given a unique icon. So here you can see this is a picture. It saved it so that you can see the little picture over there. This is a PowerPoint presentation. This is how it saves that particular file. Excel does it differently. Microsoft Word does it differently. And a normal Notepad text editor allows you to, or saves in this way. So you can see each one has its specific icon. So when I'm looking, and let's maybe just go over there. When I'm looking at my files, you can see here, I know those are Word documents. I know that's PowerPoint. And then I can actually go and sort this according to the type. And now I've got all the Adobe Acrobat files there, the databases, the Word, all of that stuff. So it is a very good practice just to, organize your files. Then going further, we have various details when it comes to each and every file. And you can see I've got my details pane over here, which gives me more information about the file. I can check the different versions. There are attributes for files as well, the date, the time. So let's go. Let me go to this one here. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to go to properties. And there you can see exactly the same thing as we've just seen. I can see who has access to it. Some more details in terms of the owner, the size, all of these things, previous versions, if there's any. I can see the size. I can see where this particular file is located. I can see which program it opens with. I can see when it was created, when it was modified, and when it was last accessed. Okay, these are attributes I can apply to the file. Read only means that the person who I'm sending it to can only open it and read it. They can't edit, they can't do anything else to it. A hidden file means that it is hidden from sight. So if I take this one and I hide it, I say apply, okay. Have a look at what happens. It goes like a faint color, right? Like it's almost washed out to show that it is hidden. Now, the only reason we can see it here is because I've actually said view hidden items. If I take that tick away, you see how it disappeared and how it's reappeared. How it's disappeared and reappeared. Okay, so that shows me it's hidden. I can then go and I can actually take that attribute off. And now it becomes a normal file that's not hidden. Okay, so these are just some of the attributes that we see there. Now, you'll notice that each file has 3 parts. It's got a name, it's got a dot, it's got an extension. The name is given by the user. This is, whatever you want to save it as. Maybe it's birthday list, maybe it's phone numbers, maybe, whatever. But this is what you will save the particular file as, the name you are giving to that file. It's separated by a dot, and then the extension, which is a 3 or 4 letter code, identifies the file type. In other words, what program must Windows look for in order to open this file named birthday list? Well, the extension will tell them. And this is automatically added by the program when you save the file. Please never change the file extension of an existing file manually, because it's going to be a problem. Windows will not know which program to open your file with. This is what ends up happening. Windows tells you, I can't open this file. How do you want to open this file? And then sometimes you've got to go look at more apps. Sometimes you've got to go check online. But this is what it ends up doing. It will suggest a list of programs. It can search the internet. You can even change a default program. But really, we just want to make sure that we've saved it correctly as well. Then I spoke to you earlier about navigating through and actually finding where a particular file is. And again, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to open my File Explorer. I'm going to go to my documents, and I'm going to go to this file, properties. Do you see this? This is the location. Now, what this is telling me is that this file is located on the C drive. Now, I'm going to open Windows Explorer again. I'm going to click on this PC. So you can see on this computer that I'm busy with now, the hard drive where your operating system is installed. It's usually called your local disk C. That is your main hard drive. That's where all the programs are usually installed, where Windows is installed, etc. You might have more drives, that's fine, but the main one where most of everything is installed will be your local disk C. From there, you can see, because I've plugged something else in via USB, that becomes D. The next one that's plugged in becomes E, etc. This shows me the fact that it's Y showed me this is a network drive. So I'm currently on a network here. Anyway, let's focus on local disk C. So there you can see it's C. So what this is saying, let's maybe just move this over, is that it's located on the C drive. So I'm going to double click on the C drive. Right? It's under users. So I'm going to go to users. It's under Hambury. Hambury and documents. Documents, and then I should be able to find Logan application. Do you see that? That's how it's done. That's what is meant by this. So when we go back, we see that is a path to a specific file. It's on the D drive, it's in the documents folder. Inside that, it's in the invoices folder, and we're looking for 2017. Now, these are just a list of common file types and extensions. You don't have to know all of this, but obviously as you continue working with the computers, you become more and more familiar with being able to identify the various extensions. Here are a few more when it comes to Word documents, PowerPoint, images, movies, etc. And here are usually what these look like. So here you can see this one is a picture file, .gif. This is a program because it's .exe. .exe means it's executable, which means it's a program that wants to open. Here are some video files over here. This one's .avi. Here I've got a HTML document. Here I've got a CD track. You can see their .cda. So you can see each one has their own extension, and we've got different programs that end up opening them up. Okay, now when I work with files and folders, I can do a few things. The first one you'll see there is that I can copy or move. So again, let me show you. I can take this file over here, this mail merge, and I can right click on it and I can go copy, and I can right click anywhere else and I can say paste. What copy and paste is going to do, it's going to make a duplicate, as you can see, of that original file. I can also delete my files. I can delete folders. I can take this and I can rename it to maybe just mail. And when I have a number of files and folders, like I have in my documents over here, I can sort them. So these headings over here on top, I can sort my list by name, and you can see how that changes. I can sort it by the date modified. I can sort it by the type of file. I have various options here as well. I can sort it by the author, categories, whatever I want to. Okay. So these are just some of the options that I have when it comes to working with files. I can copy or move. I can delete it. I can rename it, and I can sort my files as well. Then we have the recycle bin. Now, the recycle bin is an area on the hard drive where deleted files automatically go to. Right? When I delete, like I deleted a file earlier, it goes to the recycle bin. So let's go and have a look at where our recycle bin is. And I'm going to open it, and look there. There's my file sitting in the recycle bin. Now, if I've accidentally deleted something, I can right-click on that file, click Restore, and it will go back to the location it was in when it was deleted. Okay, so that helps us there. Files deleted from a network drive, we need to understand this, or from a flash drive, are not sent to the recycle bin, and they are just gone. Then, as we continue working with our files, we can also create shortcuts to any file, folder, or resource, such as a printer. And I think I've got some videos on how to create shortcuts as well, so go and check that one out. But a shortcut will identify itself with this little icon here. Okay, you'll see that over there. And if I go back to my other screen, then you'll see over here, there's a shortcut, there's a shortcut, there's a shortcut. Okay, I identify it because of that little arrow that's there in the corner. These are just some keyboard shortcuts for your cut, for your copy, for your paste, for selecting everything. There are a number online, so you can have a look through that, test it out, and see how that works on your particular computer. Now, what is important is that you can convert between different file types. I mean, let's be honest, not everybody's going to have the same software that you have on your computer. And that's okay. Some might have a newer version, some might have an older version. So when we convert between different file types, and what that basically means is that we're going to save our file as a different type. so that it can work with older versions as well. And I'll show you that before we get into the compressed folder. Let's go here. Let me go to Word. And now I'm going to open up a blank document, and I'm just going to save this. Save this to my desktop. And I'm going to save it as, let's say document, document 123. Now you'll see the save as type is Word document. Okay, going to save that. Now let's just make sure. There we go. Document 123. Now close that. Open it again. And now I'm going to save the same one. Document 123, but I'm going to save it as a different type. I'm going to save it as an older version. Okay? An older version of Word, so that this file can work with older versions of Microsoft Office. I'm going to click Save. And now, even though my files are the same name, the reason they can have the same name is because there are two different types. This opens with the newer version of Microsoft Word. There's the extension .docx. And my second one opens with a different program of Word .doc. So remember, the file extensions are different, and that's why I can have the same name. Right, now we're dealing with compressed folders. So sometimes the folder size is too big, especially when it comes to dealing with emails and sending emails with attachments, etc. We can use the compress function, this one that's built in, to make the file or folder a little bit smaller. Okay, so just understand that a compressed file is one in which unneeded data has been removed while keeping the structure and content intact. This allows the file to be made much smaller. Now, like I said, it's useful when it comes to emails. Let's go and see how we actually do this. So here is a folder. And I'm simply going to right-click on my folder. I'm going to go to Send To. And do you see that option? Compressed zipped folder. I'm going to click on it. And there, same name, Teach Term 3, but it is now a zipped folder, a compressed folder. Right, and if I look at this, if I right click on here, go to properties, I can see the size is 15 megs. When I right click on that one, I can see the size is 14 megs. So it doesn't compress about much, but yeah, enough that it does make a difference. Okay, so those are my compressed folders. We've looked at the attributes, so I don't really have to go through that, but I will just say they are settings associated with computer files that grant or deny certain rights to how a user or the operating system can access that particular file. So that's what we mean when we talk about our attributes. And then here you can see, like I mentioned before, I'm just showing you more and more icons, because as we know, each file type is given a unique icon. Here's Google Chrome, Spotify, all of these. This is just how it's done. Folks, and that is all for file management. I hope you have a much better understanding around our files, folders, extensions, and how all of them work together as we work on our computers.